Well, today I have with me Pastor Mark Minnick. And Mark, you just preached a phenomenal message on Psalm 2 in our series, Return of the King. And in Psalm 2, you referenced a verse that I've been curious about, and I'm sure many of our viewers have been curious about. And it's the verse where the Messiah is actually talking to his Father. And in verse 7, he talks about the decree that his Father's given about him. And he uses this phrase, "The Lord had said unto me, Thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee." And I've always been curious about how God the Son and God the Father could talk that way. How is it that God the Father is talking about begetting his own son?
Well, that question really zeroes in on the primary interpretational difficulty in this psalm. Because anyone who reads that language of the Father begetting the Son immediately begins to assume that that has some reference to the Father's giving life to the second person of the Godhead. And of course, that can very quickly lead you to a heretical conclusion. So the Spirit of God has given to us the inspired interpretation of that verse. We're not left in any doubt as to what that means. And that interpretation is in the 13th chapter of the book of Acts. And I'm just going to turn to it and read the verse there. I think it'll be self-evident once it's brought to everyone's attention. But this is the Apostle Paul. He's preaching in Antioch of Pisidia, which is in modern-day Turkey. And Paul is speaking of the crucifixion of the Messiah. And then he announces the good news that God raised him from the dead. And Paul realizes that his hearers would do well, that it would be helpful to them to have scriptural confirmation. So he says in the 33rd verse of Acts 13, God has fulfilled the same unto us their children, in that he has raised up Jesus again, as it's written in the second psalm. And then he quotes the part of the psalm that foretells the resurrection. He says, "Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee." Listen to that wording again. God raised up Jesus again, as it's written in the second psalm, quote, "Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee." What is a begetting but a bringing to life? When did God the Father bring to life the Messiah? After he'd been crucified.
At his resurrection. So that really was a connection for me, and very, very helpful. And I know our viewers will be helped as well. So I'm glad you could be here with us. And Pastor Minnick, thank you for your answer.
Thank you.